Welcome on in, everybody. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're all doing great out there. Miami Dolphins making a signing. They have signed Jason Pierre-Paul, of course, former Deerfield Beach star, which former first-round pick, multiple-time Super Bowl champion, pass rusher extraordinaire. He has been signed to the Miami Dolphins after the injury to Jaelan Phillips. And so he is being signed now to the 53-man roster. He was on the Saints practice squad, which I found interesting because I saw this with Robbie Chosen, with him. Guys who have pretty distinguished resumes going on practice squads is an interesting thing. And I know there's some finagling that goes on with the practice squad, but I do feel like it's a pride thing too. And a lot of guys are waiting out those opportunities to get on and get into certain places. And so Pierre-Paul is, as he wrote on social media, he's coming home. Jason Pierre-Paul. He is getting his opportunity to come on down. Played with the Ravens last year where he had a few sacks. You know, he started 13 games for him. Is obviously not like the monster that he was at his peak. And, you know, has won a couple of, when he was wreaking havoc with the Giants and making an impact with the Bucks. We all, of course, know that he had the crazy incident that happened to his hand and has still continued to play football with that. He is, but he's a menace. I mean, listen, Jason Pierre-Paul has been a menace in his career. There was some rumors over the day that the Miami Dolphins were going to be in on Derek Barnett, but he got claimed by Houston, who had the jump on the waiver wire for the Dolphins. But it seemed like there was a lot of smoke around that. But that did not come to be. Such is life when everybody wants to get their hands on somebody. So this is going to be an interesting thing to see what the Miami Dolphins will get out of this pass rush that obviously loses a huge weapon in Jaelan Phillips. And Mike McDaniel spoke about this a little bit, about the idea that they are going to get from Von Ginkel, they'll get something from Agba, but even still, losing Jaelan Phillips the way Jaelan Phillips was playing, this is definitely a tough one. Now, the other thing that's interesting that Mike McDaniel brought up today, not quite ready to rule out Teron Armstead, that is still a possibility that their star left tackle could give it a go. He had mentioned that if it was a closer game against the New York Jets, which of course it wasn't, that perhaps it would have been a situation where he would have gone back in there. But Kendall Lamb, being as effective as he is, even him being a little bit banged up, has done a great job when he's had to step in for Teron Armstead. He's done a good job. The other thing is they're still being careful with Devon Achane. They're really trying to bring him back at the right time. But they also seem to be close. It seems like it's closing in, possibly getting Chris Brooks back. And we remember Chris Brooks last time, first of all, different moose. I mean, just a moose running. Like Jeff Wilson runs angry. There's a lot of Jeff Wilson love that was going around Dolphins land today, talking about the speech that he gave to pep the team up and get them revved up and get them in the mood to play hard. And I like Jeff Wilson. I love the way that he runs. I get it. We were all dazzled and spoiled by the speed from Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert, who's added a little bit more thump to his run this year for sure. But even Jeff Wilson today was talking about the idea that this whole Mike McDaniel not calling run plays on third and short, it's not the best feeling.
I mean, definitely, it's clearly. I mean, I would be like not telling the truth if I would say it wasn't a little frustrated. But how can you be frustrated when you got a guy you can throw a 1 yard pass to and it can turn into a 70-yard touchdown? So it's kind of those things you just gotta, live with it. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're gonna get it, sometimes we're not. But regardless, I know even if it's us getting the ball or him getting the ball, whatever the situation is, I know it's probably the best situation for us at that time. So it's just up to execute and keep playing ball.
I love that. It's like I would be lying, and I would not be telling the truth if I told you I wasn't frustrated. But how can you be frustrated giving the ball to somebody like Tyreek Hill? I get it. He's if your answer to everything that the Dolphins do is just give the ball to Tyreek Hill, it's not a bad answer, especially with the season that he's having. But when you are a guy in Jeff Wilson, who I believe Christian Wilkins today described as a psycho, which I think some people would say that about Christian Wilkins, of course you're going to want on those short yard situations to get the ball.
It's kind of just like a vibe thing, but it's nice when Jeff gets in there because he's a psycho, man. I love Jeff, love hearing from him, and he's all ball, and I don't know who pisses him off before every game or before he touches the ball, but it's fun. It's a fun thing to watch him play. So yeah, it's just an energy vibe thing. Before we do that, so
that if Christian Wilkins is calling you a psycho at football, you're crazy at football, because Christian Wilkins is a psycho at football. Because Christian Wilkins was just, first of all, whenever he's mic'd up, like half the time it's just him yelling, "Football!" And I'm just like, wow, that dude loves football. He loves going out there mauling people. Poor Brees Hall. So for him to go out there and call Jeff Wilson a psycho is something. But Jeff Wilson, you got to give it up for him too, because the relationship that he has with Mike McDaniel, the relationship he has with Raheem Mostert, guys can piss and moan, guys can get upset, guys cannot love all that. And he was up there today talking about just the old SPO, enjoying each other's success, and he is he's done that to a T and gotten the Dolphins in a big spot. And I really, really liked what he brought to that Jets game. The big theme for them, and Mike McDaniel spoke about like the physicality that they brought. I don't think the Dolphins want to be looked upon as this team that is just fast, and the buzzword that gets thrown around them a lot is finesse. Be like cutesy team, a team that is going to try and razzle dazzle you. And when you get to those tough months, you get to a Baltimore in a late season situation on New Year's Eve, and you might need to play a little bit grittier. I don't know what the weather's going to be like in DC this week. Let's see. Sunday, 54, gonna rain. It looks like there's a chance that it's gonna rain there. Not the craziest wind, so not like the worst weather in the world, but not comfortable. It says there could be like a low of like 43, so it's not great. And those are those where like, if you could rely on some physicality, some thumping, then you want to try and do that. But this is the thing that you have to be very impressed with. The Dolphins are in such a great spot right now with where things stand in the division, with the Bills yakking all over themselves, finding themselves at 500. Man, these next few weeks against Washington, Monday Night Football at home against Tennessee, that place is going to be juiced up, man. That place is going to be rocking, going absolutely nutty. And then back hosting the Jets. Yeah, the Dolphins have a golden chance with everything that's in front of them right now. And you have to love that. This is such an exciting time to be at this point of the year with the record that the Dolphins have, with a shot even at the 1 seed, the current 1 seed, you got a crack in their building coming on up. All that noise that you could put an end to of, you can't be good. They're going to get their chances. They're going to get, but for right now, the task at hand for the Miami Dolphins is to go out there and take care of your business against these 3 teams that you're very clearly better than. And they've done such a good job of that all year. They have not had a slip up. They have not had how did that happen? What does that result? They haven't had that. And the most you could say is, they didn't really beat the holy hell out of the Raiders. That's like the worst thing you could say about the Miami Dolphins not showing up and giving their absolute A game. So, these next 3 weeks, vitally, vitally important, but they've shown such a great job of being able to do what they have to do in games like this, and hopefully they can continue that going on. But love that the type of tenacity that they were bringing this past week. It was Goosey's galore.